go ahead and put my pom-poms on because this time I am going to buff up the Miami Dolphins. Because
Really?
I honestly am a big fan of the Miami Dolphins this year. They are I can't say they're my Florida pick of the season because that's not true. They're my AFC Florida team pick of the season.
Oh, man.
And I have nothing against the Jags. Don't get me. Gardner Minshew is one of my favorite players in football. And just seeing him get another opportunity, he's going to have a hard time. But if he can show that he can play, well, I'm not going to go into that because we're talking about Tua because it's Tua time. Tua's got no more excuses this year. He's got his receiver. He's got the guys. He's got a second-year coach is there with him. There's no excuse from this time. He has got to light it up, and I think he will. I honestly think he will. He's got a very underrated running back. I love his wide receivers. I'm a big fan of the Miami Dolphins this year. They kept that cornerback.
So they picked up Jalen Waddle in the draft. I think he's an exciting guy. They got Will Fuller, who I think is also a pretty good player. I don't think he's a number one receiver or like that star or anything, but I think he's good enough to bring some value to that offense. Mike Gesicki, I think he's a pretty good tight end.
He could end up being top 5 this year. He could be top 5 this year. He's got that kind of ability. Yep.
I know Jacksonville was really interested in him when he was at Penn State. They were thinking about drafting him. I mean, they do have a pretty good roster up and down, but I mean, the one question is quarterback. Can Tua do it?
I think he can.
I think he can. He's got an uphill battle, dude. I don't know. I mean, there's reports that he's been struggling to camp. He didn't look too great last season, even though it was his rookie year, so you can't really rag on him too much.
In a pandemic season.
Yeah.
He was not given much opportunity to get used to that offense, to get some training camp times. He really had to go in there blind.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, Miami's front office doing what they usually do and bungling everything up. So what you going to do? But I think he's going to have an improvement.
Oh, yeah, I think he'll definitely improve, but you think I don't think they're going to make the playoffs or anything. I mean, either.
Well, let me go ahead and throw something by you. Fuller, because you know me, I'm a Notre Dame guy. I love Notre Dame. Fuller ran a 4.340.
Okay.
What did Waddle get in his 40 times?
Waddle was a 4.37.
Okay, so they've got the fastest receivers in football.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they're not. Both of them are not as fast as Tyreek Hill, but the combination of the two, they have the fastest offense in football.
Do you think they can get a wild card spot? I don't think they're going to win.
Jets aren't going to do much. They're going to have a hard time with the division because the Bills are there, and the Bills are just a good team. I would say 1-2 in the AFC. 1-2.
Yeah, they have a really good defense. I think they have one of the best defensive in the NFL.
A very capable defense. They've got could take the spot as the best wide receiver in football in Diggs if he does what he did last year. I don't think you'll be able to argue that anymore. I don't think anybody will be able to argue it anymore. Because his yards were way ahead of anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see Miami pulling off a number 2 right behind him. Maybe 1 or 2 games behind with a Patriots slip and the Jets being the Jets. I could realistically see Miami coming in number 2.
Yeah.
With a winning record.
That's if Tua can pull it together.
I say he needs one more. Like I've read that you're supposed to give a quarterback 3 years before you say if they're a good quarterback or if they're not going to make it in the NFL. We've seen Josh Allen pull through it. Tua needs one more season before we can even make an evaluation.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.